Okay, Cody, you're next on this. You're first on this one. The question is, do you think there should be an appointment to fill the remaining term of the late Judge Mascara? But I think there was an appointment. So do you agree with it, that there should have been one or not?
No, there should have been one. It's an insult to the local bar. It's absolutely ridiculous.
You mean the way it was done?
Absolutely. You have an attorney that moves here and all of a sudden he joins the bar in July knowing this is all going to happen right after Mascara dies. It's all inside political dealing, more problems in Pennsylvania, more politics that's done. It's an insult to every single person who's considering running. They weren't notified. And it's more a sign of what goes on with Governor Rendell, what goes on with Senator Pippy. I'll bash both parties on this because both parties had their hand in it. Okay? That's called being independent. We talk about being independent all the time. Let's be honest. Senator Pippy, Senator Stout, both part of this, both wrong. Absolutely wrong. And they told the local bar, hey, you don't matter. My business, I make money off of attorneys by selling ads. Okay? They're one of my best advertisers. A lot of these local attorneys are suffering, and a lot of them they thought they had an opportunity to be a member of the bar. They know the town. They know the local rules of court. Guess what? They're shoved aside. Let's bring in Melagrin because he's got big connections. So the local bar spoke up, but where's our local politicians? Why aren't they speaking up and saying, hey, you know what? We think the state senator's wrong. Because no one will stand up to Barry Stout because everybody wants his endorsement. They all want another little mail piece. Barry Stout, he's my co-chair. Barry Stout, he supports me. Guess what? He's wrong, Pippy's wrong. That's independence. That's standing up to politicians. You say you're going to do it, do it.
Okay, Brandon, would you like to take a crack at that?
Well, Barry Stout is my co-chair, and I don't agree with what goes on and what they do. And I don't agree with the way this process took place. President Judge Debbie Odell Seneca had everything in order. They brought back a senior judge. They were handling the docket just fine. There was no backlog. We have a couple of cases assigned in Washington County. Everything was moving smooth. There was an understanding that that position would not be filled, and it shouldn't have been filled. And if it was, if they thought it was going to be filled, it should have been an open process. They should have announced it, allowed a fair, reasonable opportunity for everybody to apply. The way that it was done was ridiculous. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to stay on judges for the next question. How do you feel about electing judges rather than a merit system of some kind or an appointment system? Let's see, we start with you, Brandon.
Yes. I think electing judges locally is great. They know the system, they know the bar, you know them. They deal with you the most, including magistrates. I believe that they should stay elected. It's an opportunity for people's voices to be heard. It's an opportunity for the people that have been in the courtroom, that have seen the attorneys there, that know the attorneys in the community. They should be elected. Now, when it comes to appeals court, they should explore appointing them. Right now, they are elected, and it becomes very political, as you see last year in the Supreme Court race with redistricting, that they wanted a Republican or a Democrat. They were fighting for that seat because it was more political than it had anything to do with academia or it had anything to do with how good of an attorney somebody was. The local bar does, they rate, they recommend you, or they don't recommend you. We need to pay attention to those because the local bar know the local attorneys. So please, if there is a judge, there's going to be an election next year, pay attention to who they endorse. They know the candidates. Thank you.
Cody, your response to the issue of electing judges.
Trust the people. If I had a choice between trusting politicians on an appointment or trusting the public, I'll trust the public. West Virginia has elected judges, and I tell you something I think it should happen. They shouldn't be in there for 10 years and then a retention vote. They should be 10 years and re-elected. West Virginia does it, it works fine. Very rarely do they have an opponent. But when they have a bad judge, they actually have people rise up and run against them. Because then you get someone out of control, and the public, I trust to fix things a lot more than anybody in politics. I don't agree with appointing the people for political process, because you want to talk about politics. What's going to happen if you start appointing these people at the appellate level, and you start appointing the people who do redistricting? It's going to be even more political. I'd rather put it in the hands of the people. Think about it, both parties endorse certain people for judges, but they don't always win statewide. The public chooses somebody different. That's our voice. Why would we want to give up power to political insiders? It's ludicrous. Thank you.
Thank you. Cody, are you in favor of county-wide school systems?
I'm in favor of a system a lot like Pittsburgh. You have one superintendent overseeing central purchasing, but you still have these individual school districts. We have individual football programs, individual basketball, individual, you have class presidents, whatever it is that you have. So that you still have your local community and your kids not being bused too far, but you eliminate 13 superintendents and a whole bunch of purchasing systems. Works better, it works in Pittsburgh to some extent. They overpay the guy. You know, everything in Pittsburgh doesn't work right, but it doesn't mean that general idea can't be done. We could have one superintendent, one business manager, and a wonderful central purchasing system over administration, handling all those administration fees. Because the one thing you don't want to do, if you get rid of, if you had one countywide system, is you go from having, let's say right now we have 70 kids playing, starting basketball players. You'd have 5. What are those kids going to do? The community's going to have to pick up a bunch of services and things to keep kids active. So we'd actually decrease opportunities. It'd be the same group of kids getting every opportunity instead of a large group of people.
Okay.